Hello all my dear students, welcome you all again to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes, and I am your educator Amit Ajwani. So what are we supposed to do in today's class? We are supposed to take up the questions related to the chapter Why Do We Fall Ill? In the previous class, we have completed up this chapter, and I am assuming that you all have learnt it, and for this particular class I will advise you people to just keep a register and a pen with you, because there will be few questions that you need to note down, because they are a bit different questions. So please make sure that you have your pens and registers ready along with you yourself, ready for the show. So let us start up with the questions now. Starting with the first question. You are aware of polio eradication program in your city. Children are vaccinated because. Now, this is just an example given to you, and this question, after reading, we can see that it has nothing to do specifically with polio eradication program. It is a general question which is asking that why children are vaccinated. The reasons given to us are that vaccination kills the polio causing microorganisms. No, we have studied while we were doing the chapter that vaccine doesn't contain any kind of medicine which is going to kill any microorganism. So first option is wrong, and because first option is wrong, the last option, all of the above, is also wrong. So let us see the rest remaining two options. It prevents the entry of polio causing organism in the body. Obviously not. The last option is it creates immunity in the body. This is the right answer, and this is all why the vaccinations, any type of vaccination that is given to create immunity in the body against that particular disease. Fine. So C, it creates immunity in the body, is the right answer. Taking the second question, making antiviral drugs is more difficult than making antibacterial medicines. Why? Because let us try to see. Viruses make use of host machinery. There may be a possibility, not so sure. Viruses are on the borderline of living and non-living. This doesn't make any kind of difficulty in antiviral medication. Viruses have very few biochemical mechanisms of their own. Exact answer. And viruses have a protein coat, nothing specified. So ultimately, we are left with the third option, which is the optimum and the correct answer, that it is difficult to make antiviral drugs because viruses, they have very few biochemical mechanisms of their own. So third part is the right answer. And as per the options, in the A option, it is given first and third. It's no. Only third, yes. Second and fourth, no. Only fourth, no. So B, only third, is the reason why it is difficult to make antiviral medications. Next question is, many of the people suffer from the problem of acne and feel annoyed of the ugly skin texture caused due to the acne spots. Can you guess the microorganisms causing these acne? Now, acne is a disease caused by Staphylococcus. So, D, Staphylococcus is the answer you are going to mark. If you already knew it, very good. If not, you may note it down, because these are exact direct questions related to the disease and naming the organism. So we must know which organism causes which disease, or which disease is caused by which organism, both ways, right? Coming to the fourth question, if you live in an overcrowded and poorly ventilated house, then you may suffer from which of the following diseases? Let us see. First option is cholera. It is because of contaminated water. So, poor ventilated house and being overcrowded doesn't cause cholera. AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease, cannot be caused because you are just living in an overcrowded and poor ventilated house. Cancer, it is also a non-communicable disease not caused by any crowding. It will be the airborne diseases that will be caused because if you are living in overcrowded place, then because of the people living around you, they can cause some kind of disease which are airborne, right? So the correct option is third. And when we look at the options given below, A is first and third, C is only third. This is the answer C. Airborne diseases will be caused by overcrowded and poorly ventilated houses. Next question. Antibiotics are effective against the viral infections. For each type of the viral infection, human body produces its own antiviral protein that is released from the infected and dying host cells. What is this protein called? This protein is called interferon. So A is the right answer. Other way of checking the right answer in this particular question is Leishmania. We know Leishmania, Ascaris, they are the organisms causing the diseases. Pertussis is a disease in itself. So these cannot be the names of the proteins. It is interferon A. Clear? Next question is, cancer is a disease caused due to the uncontrolled growth of tissues in any part of the body. This disease comes under which of the following types? Is it a congenital hereditary disease? No. Is it an infectious disease? No, because it cannot be communicated from one person to another. It is a non-infectious disease? Yes. None of the above? No. C. Cancer is a non-infectious disease whose immediate cause is not any infectious agent. Clear? Next question. The main symptoms of the HIV/AIDS infection are due to the fact that the patient's body can no longer fight off many minor infections and hence becomes the reason of the patient's ultimate death. This happens because now why in AIDS the fighting ability is decreased? First reason is HIV virus alone causes all the infections, not at all. HIV virus release a poison in the body? No. HIV virus damages the immune system of the body? Yes. It is because of this reason that the immune system of the body is weakened and a patient loses the ability to fight off the minor infections. Let us see the next part also. HIV virus directly attacks the human nervous system? No. C is the right answer. In AIDS, the immune system of the body is damaged. Because the HIV virus, it attacks the lymph nodes, the immune system gets damaged and nobody dies of AIDS, but the patients who have AIDS, they die of multiple organ failure or they die of the various infections which cannot be treated or which cannot be fought upon by the body's defense system. Clear? Coming to the next question. TB, tuberculosis, is a disease which spreads from one person to another directly or directly, is diagnosed with the help of a protein extracted from a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which also causes the disease. What is the name of this protein? Most of you must not be knowing the answer to this. The name of that protein is tuberculin, right? This is the protein which is extracted from Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is basically an organism causing the disease. So this is one of the questions which you may note down, that the protein obtained or extracted from Mycobacterium tuberculosis is tuberculin. B is the right answer. Let's see the next question. Cholera is an infectious, fatal disease caused by the bacterium which lives and multiplies in the small intestine. The disease sometimes occurs in epidemic form. Which of the following is not a reason for the spread of the disease? Breeding of the flies on the garbage heaps? Yes, it is because of these vectors this cholera infectious disease is spread. Use of spices in food? Obviously, it can't be the reason. If we are eating spices in the food, it cannot spread cholera. Drinking the contaminated water? Yes, it is one of the major causes of this pandemic, this epidemic disease, cholera. Consuming the contaminated food? Yes. Contamination of any form, and because of the flies this contamination is spread. So A, C and D are the actual reasons for the spread of the disease. Use of spice in body, B is not, and therefore we are going to mark B to be our answer. Next question is, for the prevention of dehydration, the patient is advised to take ORS, that is oral rehydration solution. The main components of ORS are, again, an important question which should be noted down because I know that most of you don't know the answer. The main components are sodium chloride, yes, sodium bicarbonate, yes, potassium chloride, yes, glucose is there, sucrose is there, and water is there. A is the right answer, right? It contains sodium chloride, potassium chloride. Sodium and potassium chlorides are there, glucose and sucrose are there, and sodium bicarbonate and water are also present, right? So this is A, the constituents of the ORS. These are the components. Please mark it A as the answer, and if you want to, please note it down also. Next, TAB vaccine is used to provide immunity against typhoid for a period of 3 years. Now this statement, I think in itself, this is what we need to relate and remember, right? TAB vaccine is used to provide immunity against typhoid, first thing. Secondly, for a period of 3 years. What is the correct abbreviation of TAB? TAB is basically typhoid, paratyphoid A and B vaccine. This is the correct abbreviation of TAB. This is typhoid, paratyphoid A and B. It is not partial typhoid A or B. It is not paroxytyphoid A or B. It is not per typhoid A and B. It is the paratyphoid A and B. Again, if you feel like, please note it down. It's a good question worth noting. Next, water makes averagely about 60% part of human body and is necessary in every biochemical reaction occurring in human body, which is caused due to the loss of water in the body, making the patient seriously ill in a very short time. Rehydration is giving water. Hydration, again addition of water. Dehydration, D means removal, removal of water. Hydrolysis is a chemical term used in the saponification. So dehydration is actually the removal of water. It is the loss of water. And that is why we have just seen above ORS, oral rehydration solution. Rehydration solution was given to compensate for dehydration. Fine. So C, dehydration is the answer we are going to mark for question number 12. Next question is, which of the following is an incorrect statement about tuberculosis? It is caused by salmonella. No, it is not caused by salmonella. The first statement in itself is wrong, right? It commonly affects the immune system. No, TB does not affect the immune system. It affects the lungs. Bacteria release tuberculin toxin. Yes, we have just studied above that the mycobacterium, it releases tuberculin. Third one is the correct statement. Patient's sputum contain blood. Yes, this is a major symptom of tuberculosis. So 1 and 2 are incorrect, 3 and 4 are correct, and in the question we are asked to mark the incorrect, so we will mark first and second. Second and third is given in the A option, which is wrong. Only second is wrong. Third and fourth are wrong. First and second, this is the right answer, which are the incorrect statements regarding tuberculosis. Clear? Let's see the next question. Mosquitoes are often seen breeding on the stagnant water. We should not allow mosquitoes to breed in our surrounding because they multiply very fast and cause pollution. No, they are vectors for any disease. Yes, mosquitoes are the vectors which cause many diseases like malaria. They bite and cause skin diseases. They bite is okay, but no skin disease is caused because of their bite. They are not important insects, obviously not. So B is the right answer, that they should not be allowed to breed because they are vectors which will help in spreading various diseases. So we should prevent their breeding. Next question. Infectious diseases are the diseases that can spread from infected person to the healthy person. We already know the definition of infectious diseases. Which of the following can make you ill if you come in contact with an infected person? So we need to relate the infectious communicable diseases. Genetic abnormality in a person is not going to affect you. Blood cancer is a non-communicable disease. High BP is a non-communicable disease. Sneezing and coughing, this is going to affect you because sneezing and coughing is an infectious communicable disease. Right? So D, sneezing and coughing. This is what we are going to mark as an answer. Next, BCG vaccine. What was the full form of BCG? What was the full form? It was Bacillus calmette-guerin, and it is a vaccine against tuberculosis. D is the answer. BCG is used for tuberculosis. It is not for cholera or polio or malaria. Next question is, AIDS virus contains single-stranded DNA, double-stranded DNA, single-stranded RNA, double-stranded DNA. First thing is, AIDS virus contains RNA. So A and D options are incorrect, and it is the single-stranded RNA which is present in the AIDS virus, that is HIV. So C is the answer we will be marking. Next question. Mumps is caused by which type of gland? This is caused by parotid salivary glands, not the sublingual, not the thyroid. It is the parotid salivary glands which cause mumps. C is the answer. Coming to the next question, which of the following drug is used for the treatment of typhoid? In typhoid, the option given are chloramphenicol, penicillin, tetracycline, or chloroquine. It is chloroquine. This is the medicine used for the treatment of typhoid. Clear? Worth noting down. Next, DPT vaccine is used to immunize infants against diphtheria, whooping cough and tetanus. Yes, whooping cough is basically another name for pertussis. So D for diphtheria, P for pertussis, that is whooping cough, and T for tetanus. This is why DPT vaccine is used to immunize infants against these three diseases: diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. Next, gonorrhea. Now, gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted disease. Fine. And this gonorrhea is caused by, the options given are bacteria, virus, TMV, it's a virus again, and Giardia. Now, gonorrhea is a bacterial STD, so it is caused by bacteria. It's not a virus, and Giardia is also kind of parasite which causes giardiasis. So the right answer is bacteria. Gonorrhea is a bacterial STD which is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. That is a particular specific bacteria which causes gonorrhea, right? Let us come to the next question. Who discovered smallpox vaccine? Now, the important thing that we need to relate here is that in this question, he has given us two options A and D, in which the examiner is trying to confuse us. Is it D. Jenner or Edward Jenner? It is Edward Jenner who discovered the first smallpox vaccine. So D. Edward Jenner is the right answer. Clear? Next, mumps is caused due to the inflammation of, again, the question is same but asked in a different way, and we have answered it above. It is the parotid gland. The inflammation of parotid gland is called mumps. Clear? So B, parotid gland will be the answer. Next question, Salk vaccine fights against. Now this is the vaccine which is basically against polio. So I think it's better to note it down because you are studying it for the first time. Salk vaccine, it fight against polio, right? A is the answer. Next question, typhoid is caused by, it is caused by salmonella, right? So again, I have already mentioned you in my teaching class that these are the type of questions which are very important. The diseases, the affected organism or the glands or the organs, they are very important. And as far as the vaccines are concerned, please note down wherever you feel that there are questions which you don't know. Fine. Next, which of the following is a bacterial disease? The bacterial disease among the following is tuberculosis. It is not plague because it is caused by vector, that is rats. It's not malaria, Anopheles mosquito. It's not mumps because it is due to the inflammation of parotid gland. So tuberculosis is a bacterial disease. Let us come to the next question. Jaundice affects which part of the body? Is it kidney or stomach or liver or brain? Jaundice affects the liver. B. Liver is what you are going to mark. Next question is leprosy is caused by. Again, many students must not be knowing the answer to this question. Leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium. A is the answer. Make sure that either you know it or you note it. Fine. Leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium. Sir, why you are asking us to note down all the things? While you were teaching, you didn't teach all these things. These are the diseases, and I think whole medicine, whole of the medical profession is actually filled with various diseases caused by various organisms. So it is not possible to actually relate and learn all the diseases, because if you are able to do it, instead of giving your exam, you can directly put a board in front of your house, Dr. So and so, for all the diseases and all the knowledge and all the information and all the treatments. So we have just studied about the basic things, the most important ones, and that is why in the starting of the class itself, I told you that in this particular class, you must be getting so many things to note down. We have to do the basic and the most common one. Then we have to target the most important ones. Then we also have to learn these ones which we possibly can encounter in the exams. That's it. It's not possible for you or for me to name all the diseases and also mention the causes of those diseases. Otherwise, I think 4 or 5 years we will take in order to complete that thing. And after that, there is no use, there is no point in giving you a test. You are already a doctor. Fine. So I hope you understand, and I hope that you actually make notes of these. They will be helpful for you in future for revising the things. Okay. Coming to the next question. Which of the following is a viral disease? Now this we can relate from the table that we had studied. It is the influenza. The very first disease in the table was influenza caused by virus. Right? It's not dengue fever, not cholera, not plague. Next question is, plague is caused by, again you need to note it down, plague is caused by Yersinia pestis. A very different, a very typical name, but this is what the answer is. Plague is caused by Yersinia pestis. A is the right answer, and I have circled the question. That means even I know that most of my students who have actually learned from their books or the material they have got, most of the students, they don't know the answer to this question. Not all, but most of you. So those most of you, please note down. Okay. Next question is, match the diseases with the causative organism. In A, in the first column we have got A, pneumonia, B is citrus carker, C is cholera, D is leprosy. Right? And the organisms are Vibrio cholerae, Mycobacterium leprae, Xanthomonas citriae, and Diplococcus pneumoniae. I think that the students are smart enough so they can relate that the names of the causative organisms in itself are giving you the hints of the names of the diseases they are causing. Pneumonia, I think you are able to relate that it is pneumoniae. So pneumonia is actually caused by this Diplococcus pneumoniae. Cholera is through Vibrio cholera. So from the name of the causative organism, we have got the name of the disease. Similarly, this leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae. And the last is citrus carker. Citrus is citriae, Xanthomonas citriae. Right? So A is marked with fourth option. So let us see, A is marked with fourth in these two. We will cancel out C and D. Next, B is related to our third option. B should be related to third, not the second. So this is our answer. But let us confirm with the rest of the options. C is related to 1. C is related to 1. And the last remaining D is related to the leftover option second. Clear? So this is B, our right answer. Let's see the next question. A non-communicable disease is measles, diphtheria, rabies, or diabetes. It is diabetes, which is a non-communicable disease, which we already know that it is because of the insulin lacking. It is the increase in the blood sugar level of a person. This is diabetes, and it is a non-communicable disease. So D, diabetes should be the answer. Next question. A chemical substance produced by microorganism for inhibiting of growth of another. These are the antibiotics. These antibiotics are actually the chemical substances which are produced by microorganisms, and they are used for inhibiting the growth of another microorganisms, which are mainly bacteria. So antibiotics, B is the right answer. Next, bacterium which is concerned with pertussis, that is the whooping cough. Which one is this? The name in itself is going to tell you. Just read the options and I think you will be directly able to give the answer yourself. Bordetella pertussis, Diplococcus, Bacillus, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So A, Bordetella pertussis is the bacterium which causes whooping cough or pertussis. I hope you remember that it was there in the table that we have studied at the end of the previous class. Fine. Bordetella pertussis. Next question. Which of the following is a protozoan disease? Now, malaria is caused by Plasmodium. It is a protozoan disease. Amoebiasis is also a protozoan disease. Sleeping sickness is also a protozoan disease. And Kala Azar is also a protozoan disease which is not mentioned here. So all these three along with Kala Azar are protozoan. So we will write the answer all of the above. These all are caused by protozoa. Fine. Coming to the next question. Which of the following is a bacterial disease? Typhoid is not a bacterial disease. Malaria, we have seen above, is a protozoan disease, not a bacterial disease. Dengue fever is a bacterial disease. AIDS is a viral disease. So D is wrong option. A and C are wrong option. B, dengue fever, is the right answer, that it is the bacterial disease among these all. Clear? Let us come to the next question. A sexually transmitted disease symptomized by the development of ulcers on the genitals. Now this is basically gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted disease in which the symptoms are ulcer formation on the genital area, and I have just talked about that this gonorrhea is caused by a bacteria which is called Neisseria gonorrhoeae, right? So both the things you need to remember. Number one, gonorrhea is symptomized by the development of ulcers on the genitals. This is the first thing that we need to know, because unless until we are able to relate the name of the disease, how can we relate the causative organism? Clear? So this is gonorrhea and it is caused by a bacteria, Neisseria gonorrhoeae. B is the option, and again it is the gonorrhea which is symptomized by the development of ulcers. Ulcer formation takes place on the genital area. Clear? Next question, 38. Which of the following disease is communicable? Rickets is non-communicable, deficiency of vitamin D and proteins. Diabetes, decrease in blood sugar level, not communicable. Cancer, non-communicable. It is amoebiasis. This is a communicable disease. Why? Because it is caused by infectious microbes. Fine. So all the diseases whose immediate causes are microbes, infectious agents, they are communicable diseases. Coming to the next question, resistance against pathogen is due to, is it due to antibodies? Yes. Is it due to hemoglobin? No, hemoglobin is just the oxygen carrier in the body. It does not provide any kind of resistance against the pathogens. RBCs, no, they contain hemoglobin. Pertussis, obviously not. It is another name for whooping cough, right? So resistance against pathogen is due to antibodies. This particular word you must have heard during the corona time. Antibodies will be formed, then corona will not happen again to the person. Vaccine will be given to form the antibodies, right? So this antibody is something which will provide resistance against the pathogen or the disease causing organism. Next question. First antibiotic was discovered by. Now, do not get confused. This is talking about antibiotic. Edward Jenner, that is the most common name that comes to the minds of the students. Edward Jenner is related to vaccination against smallpox. Vaccination, not antibiotics. It was A. Fleming who discovered the first antibiotic. You may note down this question, that the first antibiotic was discovered by A. Fleming. You don't have to just remember Fleming, because the examiner always confuses you with the same name, changing just a bit of it. A. Fleming or W. Fleming, it is A. Fleming. Similarly, E. Jenner or D. Jenner, it is E. Jenner, Edward Jenner, for vaccination against smallpox. Similarly, here we have got A. Fleming, not W. Fleming. He discovered the antibiotics for the first time. Next question. Who among the following established the scientific basis of vaccination? See, you have got your answer. Again, Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner first established the scientific basis of vaccination against which disease? Smallpox. Clear? Next question is, the primary host of Plasmodium is Plasmodium vivax. Which disease it causes? Malaria. And who carries Plasmodium? Who is the vector? It is the female Anopheles mosquito, which is an intermediary or a vector which carries this Plasmodium vivax, which causes malaria. So female Anopheles, D is the correct answer. Coming to question number 43. Which of the following is a pair of viral disease? Let us see the options. Ringworm, it is a fungal disease. AIDS is a viral. So because ringworm is not viral disease, cancel it out. Common cold is a viral disease. AIDS again is a viral disease. B is the right answer. Dysentery is not a viral disease. Common cold is. So because of dysentery, wrong option. Typhoid and tuberculosis, not viral, wrong option. So B is the right answer. Common cold and AIDS, these are both viral diseases. Clear? Let's see the next question. The organ related with immunity is. Good question. Different question. If you know, very good. Otherwise, you can mark it up. It is liver, no. Spleen, no. Parathyroid, no. It is the thymus gland. Just go back to that lecture in which we talked about the control and coordination hormonal system. In that, we specifically mentioned thymus gland, thymus hormone, which is related with immunity. So D, thymus is related with immunity. Clear? Coming to the next question again. Which one of the following acts as a physiological barrier to the entry of microorganisms in human body? We are given a few choices. Among these, we have to find which of these act as a physiological barrier. Tears, skin, monocytes, and epithelium of urogenital tract. When we are talking about microorganisms, they cannot be stopped with tears. And the urogenital tract is not the only point of entry. So this is also wrong. We are left with skin and monocytes. Now, quite importantly, skin cannot prevent the entry because they can enter through nose or mouth, right? It is the monocytes. B. Monocytes act as a physiological barrier to the entry of microorganisms in human body. Circling it, purpose you know, and what is it means you know, you may note it down. Next, AIDS virus contain. Now, one of the questions, if you remember above, it was asked that the AIDS virus has a double-stranded RNA, single-stranded RNA, double-stranded DNA or single-stranded DNA. There, I simply told you that AIDS virus HIV does not contain DNA. It contains RNA only. So all the options are with DNA, which will be marking incorrect. It is the RNA with protein which is contained in AIDS virus HIV. So A, RNA with protein will be our right answer. Coming to the next question, which of the following organs is not involved in the elucidation of immune responses? What are the options? Brain, spleen, lymph node, and thymus. We know it is the spleen which is not involved. All the other rest of these options, brain, lymph node, and thymus, they are involved in the elucidation of immune response. So C, spleen, that is what we are going to mark as the answer to this question number 47. Coming to question number 48, disease which last for longer period of time are known as. What are the options given to us? Acute, infectious, chronic, and communicable. The answer is chronic diseases. These are the diseases which actually last for longer period of time. What are acute diseases? Revising side by side. These are the diseases which actually last for shorter duration. Infectious diseases are those diseases which are caused by infectious agents like microbes, bacteria, virus, etc. And what are communicable diseases? These are the diseases which can be communicated from a diseased person to a healthy person. So the diseases which last for longer period of time, they are the chronic diseases. B is the right answer. Let's come to question number 49. Which of the following is transmitted through air? The airborne diseases: pneumonia, tuberculosis, common cold, all of the above. The right answer is common cold. This is transmitted mainly through air. Clear? So B, common cold is the right answer. Next question is Aedes aegypti is a vector for Now, Aedes mosquito, if you have heard or read or anywhere you have listened to it, Aedes, this is a vector for dengue fever. 2 or 3 years, 4 years back, probably during the year 2016 to 2018 or 19, rather 2020, dengue fever was quite common and it spread, especially in the upper parts of the country, northern region. Dengue fever, it spread and it killed so many people. So many people died because of it. Aedes mosquito was responsible, which carried Aedes aegypti, and because of this, most of the schools in northern India, they ordered and they notified the students that they are going to wear the full sleeve shirts, right? Even in the summers. Why? Because this is caused by this mosquito bite in order to prevent this. Fine. So Aedes aegypti is a vector for dengue fever, not for yellow fever. Both dengue and yellow, no. Japanese encephalitis is brain fever, no. A, dengue fever is the right answer. Next question is use of antihistamines and steroids give quick relief from. Now these antihistamines and steroids are anti-allergics. So they will give quick relief from allergic reactions, allergy. They won't work much in nausea or headache or cough. They are used mainly as anti-allergics against any allergy. So A, allergy is the right answer. Clear? Next, which cell secrete antibody? Options are lymphocytes, eosinophils, monocytes, or neutrophils. These are the lymphocytes. If you remember, we studied this also when we were talking about the transport system, right? The lymphatic system in our body, which consisted of lymph, the fluid, the extracellular fluid, which actually flew down in the lymph vessels through lymph capillaries, and in these lymph vessels we have various lymph nodes in between. Those lymph nodes contain lymphocytes. Now these lymphocytes just work like the WBCs, right? They also are called the soldiers of the body because they also fight with the microorganisms, the disease causing microbes, and these lymphocytes, they secrete the antibodies. So A, lymphocytes is the answer that we are going to mark for this particular question. And this is all about the various questions related to why do we fall ill. Now after doing these many questions, I would like to have a chat with you people. A few things I would like to mention and ask. Number one, always prepare for the class in which we are discussing questions. I always tell whenever we complete a chapter, and always try to check yourself while giving the answers. Wherever you are giving right answers, that too, just put a tick how many right answers you have given, right? And wherever you have given any wrong answer, now this is important because whatever right answers you gave, if you actually knew the answers, you have not guessed the answers, then very good. But if you have guessed the answers and just by coincidence they have been correct, mark them up also. Note them down so that you can be doubly sure. Now come to those questions which were incorrect, and we need to find out the reason why they were incorrect. The first reason is that you never knew them. You have never heard of them. No worries, no tensions. We noted all those questions. We never knew them, but now we have noted them down. We will learn them, and now we know them. We'll never forget them. Got it? The second thing is you were not able to relate the language of the question. Once again, you have noted down the question and try to emphasize on the language of the question in order to understand it. The third one is for which we need to be more concerned. That is that you gave the wrong answer even though you knew the correct answer, but still it was wrong because you were quick to give the answer. You did not check all the options. If this is the case, now this is a cause of worry, because if we don't know the answer, okay, we can learn them. It is simply not our fault because we have never encountered that question. We never knew the answer. But once now we know the answer, and then if that answer is wrong, then it is our fault. And for this, we need to make sure why we went wrong and how we can improve ourselves. Because this is what exactly is the main purpose for which you and me are together at the moment. Your improvement, your marks, your selection in the examination. This is what you are working for. This is what I am working for. This is what Sri Jendra is working for. Clear? We all have the same purpose. So you need to be sincere. You need to observe the questions. You need to observe the language. You need to relate the language of the question. And very importantly, please make sure that you go through all the options before jumping to the conclusion. Right? Haste makes waste. This is a normal idiom that if we make haste, if we are in a hurry of doing something, it is going to waste the things. Right? So this is what we should not do. And in this chapter, I'm sure that many of you must have noted down a few questions because they were different. Few questions I myself asked you to note down. You have noted down, very good. If you haven't noted down because it was a bit speedily done, make sure that you contact and refer to your friends who must have also noted down a few questions so you can relate from them. And make sure that you learn these noted down questions, and just by one time learning you will not be able to remember them. So whichever register you are writing these type of questions, make sure it will take 10, 15, 20 minutes after every week, or whatever you decide, whatever you plan and fix, after every 5 days, 7 days or 10 days, please make sure to spend 15 or 20 minutes out of your so-called most precious time to revise them again and again. Clear? So this is my simple advice. Let's see who follows. Whoever will follow will be benefited. Otherwise, all your wish. The only thing I can do is advise you. Fine. So this is all about why do we follow. And in the next class, we'll meet up with a new chapter. Till then, keep continue working and have a great day. Thank you so much.